Navigate right to the side sex. Defy them the root style stuff. I'm on the grind like we're chasing the stars. From Millmore to Do Valley, we've come so far. Talk about legends, yeah, we know the score. Ronnie, I'm Bobby, we remember you more. From the highs of the Wembley fight to losing our trousers, still we ignite. Red and white with the pride, we're never gonna bow. Fighting like Millermen, hear the roar now. We're Millermen, we stand up tall. Through ups and downs, we give it all. From Millmore to Do Valley.
Good evening and welcome to Terrace Talk. I'm your host, King Bush. And tonight we are going to discuss everything that is the shambles of Rotherham United. We're going to get into tonight the appointment of Steve Mcclaren, the potential appointment of Ian Burchnall as head coach, and obviously takeover news, or no news if you like to say, from Tony Stewart's interview. So we're going to delve into Tony Stewart's interview as well. So yeah, it's a bit worrying times at the minute for me. I've got the legends with me. I've got still a sunburned Turbo Tom, still feeling the effects of the Scottish sunshine. How you doing, Tom?
Yeah, really good, Lee. All right, Pete. All right, Bez. It seems like a while since we've discussed anything Rotherham United. However, what I will say is that I do work outside, and when the sun is hot, I kind of tan. You know what I mean? But looking forward to. I might add, I'm quietly positive here. I'm verging on a happy clapper here, like I'm telling you. So let's go. Let's see where we go.
I'm just going to quickly play you something. Just something quickly. What we can look forward to, sort of potentially next season.
Me and Pete are all right. Thanks for asking us, Lee.
No, I can't play you that. Can't play you that. I was going to play it here, but it's not. Oh, hang on. We've got it here. So we're going to look forward to this next season.
Come on, lads, pick it up. Come on.
Ian, fuck off! Ian, fuck off! Don't bother coming back out! Fucking clueless!
It's all right.
You're fucking clueless!
Pick it up, Ian. Come on.
Fucking useless, mate!
Come on,
fucking
Ian.
Resign!
You're a fucking shit.
And that's one is you in it, Tom. Come on, Ian. Pick it up, Ian. Come on. You can do it, lad. I know we've got Bez with us this evening. Bez, how you doing, mate? How are your thoughts?
Yeah, good, thanks. And yeah, you hear Stewart for the first time in 3-4 years, whatever it is, and as soon as you've turned him off, you're thinking, why the hell did I want this clown to come out and talk? So yeah, not in a great place with regards to Rotherham, and we'll obviously get onto that in the video. I'm someone who I'll still go to games because it's my life. I've said before, it's my life. My season ticket rolls over. I've not got anything to do in order to cancel it, so I will still get a ticket.
That weren't the voice message you sent me the other day when the news about Ian Burchnall, whatever he's called.
Well, I didn't say I was going to go. I just said that I'll get a season ticket. So because the thing is, if I were to look at my record of like attending home games, let's say, and away games actually, and for the 5 years, it'll probably have gone something like 5th year and 4th year about 80% games, 3rd year 70, second 60, and then last year was like 56, gradually going down. So I will get a season ticket, but I might not go. The issue I've got is my lad wants to go. He wants to go, so and I can't really stop him from going. If he don't go with me, he goes with his mum to watch Wednesday, so we can't have that.
That's all great, because if you buy a season ticket, you get a better striker, so don't ever forget that.
Exactly, and that's the other reason, I'm putting that massive 500 quid it takes for a £1 million striker, Exactly right, Lee.
And we've got the voice of reason, Pete. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, evening, lads. I just don't know what to think about it, to be honest. I don't know, lost for words. Could be sat here in years' time thinking, masterstroke that, we've won league easy. Or it could be the other way around, we don't know, do we? And then watching that clip you've just played, it don't bear well, does it?
I'm actually more concerned about, like, you know when Stewart were talking about, because obviously it was Andy Gideon's doing interviews, and Andy Gideon's obviously said to him something along the lines of, "Oh, so you're getting a lot of negative feedback from the crowd," and he went, "I'm not." Like, I was amazed that he didn't even realise that a lot of fans are against him.
I actually agree with him on that, because when have you actually heard any anti-Tony Stewart songs at the New York Stadium? I've not heard
that's true, to be fair, yeah.
And do you think that guy at his age goes on X or social media? Probably not. And then he's by a dinosaur that is...
Well, I would say, like, because I would say that there's got to be someone in the club who is like Tony Stewart's right-hand man. And this right-hand man will go on social media and say, "Look, Tony, you are getting quite a lot of negative feedback for this decision or that decision."
I don't think they're telling him. It's clear from that interview they're not telling him. Because I kind of felt sorry for the old boy. He didn't actually look very well on that interview. And go on, sorry.
I'm just going to say just on that as well, because I've noticed that, you made a comment, I think others have made a comment on Twitter or social media about him not looking well. I want people out there who are watching. I mean, we don't normally get a lot of the start, it's only later on, but then we're watching currently. When anyone here is saying that we don't think he looks well, we're not actually taking a mick out of him. We're actually genuinely worried for his health. And it did, like, to me, the way he looked, the way he sounded, the way he doesn't know a lot about what's going on. To me, he does look like he's really ill. And the fact that he's come out and said he's going nowhere, surely he can't be enjoying this anymore. Like, him funding a team that's just going down and down and down. Like, why would anyone enjoy that? I just don't get it. You don't make money out of the club because he has to pay off debts and stuff. So, Why is the reason he wants to say? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Don't know. A few comments coming in from the interview yesterday. I don't see a takeover anymore. What of the plastic director? Has he had enough already? So we'll start with you, Tom. On the interview yesterday, do you see the takeover not happening now? Because he basically said nothing's going to happen this season. And he's going nowhere.
He said in his interview that he's had, over the last 10 years, he's had Americans, Chinese. He says he's got 3 right now.
Bush at his door.
He says he's got 3 right now, and he says he wants to avoid selling the club to, like, casino owners or whatever. And he's got Rotherham's best interest at heart, because he said anytime he was to leave this club, he doesn't want bricks coming through his window because he works at Rotherham. So one would imagine that, as things stand, no takeover is on the cards.
Can I just ask you, Tom? Just on what you said, Tom. Just so he obviously said, like you said, that he's not saying to these people who are coming because he thinks they're not real people who've got real money. So he's looking out for us. So are you sat there thinking, "Oh, thanks, Tony, I really like that," or are you calling his bluff on that?
I mean, I think if he didn't go on to say some of the other things he said in his interview, I would think, actually, yeah, you know what, fair enough. But he, as we'll come on to, he mentioned that he's spoken to the new coach twice, right? Which is still not being said. He said he looked like me granny, right? I hate to say this about me granny, who's similar age, but like, just like there's nothing behind the eyes, and they're like deranged. Like, more season tickets you buy, the better striker you get. Oh, right. I don't know. But I think in isolation, that comment would have been okay. But the rest of the interview was just horrendous. So he doesn't know what he's saying. So he must have been told, right? We all know that we've signed Ian Burchnall as the head coach of Rotherham United, right? We know that now. He said twice on the interview with Giddings at the end, right, about speaking to the coach. Oh, I just spoke to him for an hour. Oh, he knows what he's doing, right? And nobody actually pushed back on that, saying, right, hang on, who have you spoken to? So, listen. I think
he meant Steve Mcclaren. I don't think he meant the new coach.
Bez he was.
Yeah.
Bez, he meant the new coach.
The person who we're interviewing obviously thought the same as me because he didn't push him on it like you said.
No. Because
he
didn't push him on anything, Bez. And thing is, the reason why nothing got pushed is because the first 3 minutes of that interview were utterly delusional sort of comments. So you're trying to process all that. He said, speaking to the new coach. Mcclaren's not the new coach, is he, Dave? Right?
No, he's made a mistake because he's part of my reason why I think he's really ill. He just made a mistake. You know, when you get older, you mistake. Like I might call Lee Pete and Pete Lee because I'm old. I just think he meant Paul Mcclaren, Steve Mcclaren did it then. Paul Mcclaren. I think he meant Steve Mcclaren he spoke to for an hour, not the new coach. You never said the word new coach.
So Dave, on that theory, he's only spoke to Steve Mcclaren for an hour.
This week, he said, or yesterday, he mentioned the day. He didn't say.
Why would he mention that? Why would he mention that?
I don't know. But I just don't think. I don't think. I know you're obsessed with this. But I don't think the club. Steve Mcclaren said in his interview they're looking at 2 or 3. Yes, the preference is Ian Burchnall. That's what they've said. But if Steve McClaren's come out and said 2 or 3 when the chairman said we've already got one, then if he's made a mistake, why would he do that?
What are we waiting for? What? So he's saying that Ian Burchnall is his preference. What are we waiting for?
I just don't think. I honestly don't think.
It's not like he's going to turn Rotherham down. It's the biggest club he's ever managed.
No, I agree with that.
So what are we? What is the hold up? If he's his preference, why have we got him? Why ain't he started? That'd be my thing for you.
Because even though it's his preference, it don't mean that we've got him for him, right? Because I'm with you, Lee. If it was Ian Burchnall, right, and it was, I think, fact, it would have been confirmed in the media today, and it hasn't been. It's not going to be confirmed now. It's 8 o'clock or gone 8 o'clock. So if it was definitely Ian Burchnall, I actually think it would have happened today, right? Now, you're right. If we've offered it Ian Burchnall, there's hardly any chance that he says no, unless he doesn't feel he's good enough. Some managers can think within themselves, you know what, I know it's quite difficult up there at Rotherham. The fans are Rotherham are known as one of the football clubs where the fans do get on top of you really quickly, and they do. They always have done. So he might be thinking, you know what, let me have a think. You know, he might live in Forest Green or wherever Forest Green is. He might live there and think, I've got to move my whole family up to Yorkshire. It's not just a case of him saying, do you want this job? And he says, yeah, and moves up. You know, all those questions need to be asked. And I honestly still don't think it's guaranteed. I think what Mcclaren said, there's 2 to 3 who they're thinking about. And you know what? They might have only interviewed Burchnall and not the other 2. So at this minute, Burchnall's the best, but that's because they're not interviewed the other 2. You don't know, is what I'm trying to say. It might be Burchnall, but I look at us 4 here, and all us, if I said to it's Ian Burchnall, all us 4 would say, that is ridiculous. He's got nothing in his history to suggest he's going to be a good manager. I don't even think he's been successful as an assistant manager. Now, none of us are football, like, we've not got as much football kind of credibility as Steve McClaren. All 4 of us together have not got as much as Steve McClaren. So if we're thinking that, why is Steve McClaren thinking, tell you what, let's go and appoint the worst manager? I don't, that's what I don't get. And that's why I'm unsure he's going to get the job. And that's why obviously I was talking to you, Tom, yesterday.
But it can be down to budgets Pete, voice of reason, bring some calmness to the situation. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think the takeover's done with? Do you think Ian Blacknall is going to be the manager?
We could see an investment, not a takeover, because he did say next year might be. I don't know, did he along them lines or something? It could be an investment. I'm more disappointed in Tony Stewart's son, to be honest. If that were my dad, I wouldn't be letting him speak like that. I'd say, let me take this, Dad. I'll speak, because he basically owns the club now, doesn't he? His son, is that right?
No,
Yeah.
I think it was only moved over for inheritance.
But why ain't he speaking? You don't your dad at that age speaking like that.
Any interest in the football club whatsoever, Richard, and I don't even think he's interested in football in general. So
He's not. No, he's not. No.
But he should come out and speak up for his dad, to be fair, shouldn't he? I would be. I won't let my dad come on like that. If he is badly, I'd be speaking for him. And this with Ian Burchnall, I know we could be sat here, like I said, in a year's time, rate appointment that. Or it could go away. It could be sat by Christmas.
Yeah, it could very well be.
I said this to Lee on that. You know, one thing I will guarantee, because Tony Stewart, obviously, he relies on season ticket sales. Now, let's all face it, Steve Mcclaren's coming at the exact time we're going to release season tickets, aren't we, basically? And that's a ploy. A clever ploy, to be fair. But if it is this guy, season tickets won't get sold, right? And because of that, if he has a bad September, I guarantee he's sacked. Like, it'll not be like an Anshaw where he gets a year. I think if he has a bad start, I think he'll be sacked, because it's a bad start and the season ticket sales are the lowest they've probably been for.
Yeah, but I'm not so sure it will, Bez, because obviously Steve Mcclaren in his interview called for patience. He said that you can't expect promotion next season, and basically it's a, what did he call it? Not a rebuild, but he called it. He said, he mentioned something. I can't remember what it was, but it's
transitional.
He's only saying that to cover his back. He kept referring to Cambridge United, and Cambridge United signed 21 players on one promotion. That's what he kept referring it to. So he obviously believes that we could do what Cambridge have done. That's what he'll. Because why would he mention a club and then do the opposite of that club, if you like? So he thinks
we're going to sign lots of players because we have to. We've got no squad. It's whether the quality players.
I don't think.
Sorry, Pete. Go on.
I don't think Mcclaren will be here in 12 months' time. I think he'll be long gone. That's my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fair enough. Back to London. We are back to 2008, but then we had a superb manager in Mark Robbins and a few more players. Zero comfort from McClown's interview. No decent manager will want to manage under him. So he's obviously not happy about Steve Mcclaren. Turbo Tom, who's in the chat as well. Steve McClaren's Red and White Army.
Just on that, sorry, Lee. One of my mates at work today did ask me if McClaren had come in as manager, would you have been happy?
Yeah, I would have.
I would have.
Yeah. I'd have preferred him as manager. And actually, when you listen to his interview, he actually says he's going to enjoy this role, but he may go back to coaching again. So maybe. Up the Millers, that's from Rotherham Boys. Connor, can't be asked to have another season of Tony Stewart.
That's tiny, that.
Yeah, tiny, yeah. Pop another 5 season tickets on Bez, a better striker. Sean Davis, Golf Club, ego is why he won't leave. Scott, what hair dye do you use? Is took a rate. What? I can't even read that.
Who's Scott? Anyway, who's Scott?
I know it's me. I know Sean. Yeah, good mates with Sean.
Oh, Scott. Yeah. You
hair dye. I mean about.
Who said Burchell is his preference? Where has it been said? It's in an article in the Rotherham Advertiser that's come out. Scott Kent, McClaren did to the Advertiser. Yeah, true. That's where we've got it from. It's not something we've said. There's 100% 2 in for Burchell. Hasn't been told he's got it he's been strongly advised. Okay.
Yeah, so all that is what he's saying, Baz, is that Burchnall has gone in and Mcclaren said something on the lines of, right, thanks, Ian. Just let you know, we've got someone else to interview, but I think you're probably going to get it. Just something on them lines.
Okay. Son runs the company, Tony runs the club. Can't find a quote in the Times, and Mcclaren said Burchnall, he did, it's 100% there. Cambridge upgraded training facilities that cost 3.5 million. We ain't forking out. That is something I believe we will do. I think there is plans, like I said, with Millmore regarding the training facility. That's got nothing to do with the takeover. The person that told me that is at the club. So, yeah, I still think they are going to look at turning Millmore into an academy training centre. If the appointment is on the cards, well, I know it's a cheap option, i.e. Ian Burchnall, former Notts County boss. I've been saying it for the past few months. Andy Woodman.
Same.
Fit it, bedtime in where's that?
Nairobi, capital of Kenya.
Oh, never felt so despondent about the Millers in my days. Even 2008 nightmare. Cambridge are our benchmark. Is staggering. Mcclaren will be gone by Christmas. So he's agreeing with you, Pete. He thinks he'll be gone by Christmas. Evening, lads.
Pete, why do you think he'll be gone by Christmas? Do you think he'll be fed up?
Yeah, I don't think he'll be able to with Tony Stewart. I want this, I want that. Tony saying, no, you can't have it. That's what I think is going to happen.
He said in his interview with McClaren that he's only come here because of Tony Stewart. That's what he said in his interview.
I just can't see him staying, Bez. I can't.
Fall out. So did Phil Smith, but that relationship doesn't seem to be firing on all cylinders either. Have a good evening. Yeah, cheers. Have a good evening, mate. Thank you for tuning in. Odds on Burchnall getting sacked early. Mcclaren temporary taking over as manager and just staying on.
Maybe.
Gary Lilly says he's fetched Mcclaren in just to sell season tickets. He'll be gone within a month or two. So quite a few people. So I'm going to put in the chat our first poll. So the first poll I'm going to put. So if you in the chat, you put 1 for yes or 2 for no. So are you going to buy a season ticket this next season? So are you going to purchase a season ticket? 1 for yes, 2 for no. And we'll see where that ends up. So see if you are going to buy a season ticket next season.
Can we not do it? Oh, you sat 1 or 2 in, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it off your thing. Yeah, you can do it. So, yeah. So regarding the interview, so yeah, I think it's basically scuppered any sort of takeover, which I did say from the very start. I believe it were only ever going to be investment at this football club. I don't think he wants to sell. I don't know why he doesn't want to sell, because like we said, he looks very ill and very not coherent with what he's saying. Now, I did look into the comment of which he made about if you purchase a striker, if you purchase season ticket, you do get a striker. And people are saying there's no cap in League Two, but actually under League Two's SCFMP system, a club's permitted spending on player costs is linked to football income turnover. More season ticket sales increase the club's revenue, which can increase the amount it is allowed to spend on wages and transfer within those regulations. So actually, a lot of people were slating him on that comment, and that actual comment was actually factually correct. If you do, it goes on your turnover, so he can actually spend more on wages. So he's saying it's a two-way thing, purchase your season tickets. The problem is we've been here 3 seasons in a row now with Tony Stewart, where he's promised this, he's promised that, not delivered. So fans are now reluctant to buy a season ticket, to back the club because they're not sure on what is going on.
So so Lee, at the minute or last year, we had 6,500, I think, seem to get holders, right? How many do you think we'll get next year?
How many did we have last year? Did you say
6,500, yeah.
I'm going 4.
I think we're only going to get about 4,500.
Wow.
What about yourself?
Yeah. I think we are going to be wrong side of 5,000. So it's going to be like 4,800, 4,900, my guess. Tom?
It's all speculation, gentlemen. It depends on who we sign. It genuinely depends on who we sign.
No, your advice is to get generous speaking before the season starts. You don't buy in August, do you? You can do, but not many people will do because you've missed a game.
But yeah, but let's just say in the month of June and July, we sign a proper team that people get excited about. Do you know what?
I don't think there's many signings you can make at League Two level that are going to get you excited, to be honest, Tom.
The thing is, I don't know, Bushy. I don't know, mate. Because listen, I think we'll come on to this later. I am more glass half full than glass half empty as things stand. I'll say that now. I'm not 100% happy, but I'm glass more half full. I think if we have a positive June and July, I think we sell 5,000 plus.
Wow.
Depends on price. Depends on price, doesn't it? If we're paying the same as last year,
well, yeah, Pete, I completely agree with that as well.
Fair enough.
Depends on price. Yeah.
Paul, talking to a mate who's a Notts County fan, he said Burchnall, whatever it's called, did well for them and took them to 2 playoffs. But they didn't win, though. That's the problem, Paul, and it's League Two. I'd expect Notts County to be in playoffs in League Two. They're a decent-sized club in League Two, and he didn't get them over the line. They was eventually sacked. He ended up at Forest Green, who were bottom of League One, and he got sacked. His managerial record is absolutely pathetic.
Let's not forget, Lee. Let's not forget that Graham Potter recommended him to Ostersons after he left. And he was the manager of Ostersons.
So the Graham Potter recommended this Ian
Burchnall to take his role after he left to go to, was it Swansea, I think?
Yeah, I read that, yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson told Manchester United to get David Moyes as manager, and look how that turned out.
That's true, mate. That's true. But I also think
it's a job for the boys, isn't it? Sometimes all I can do is look at his record, and it's honking, absolutely honking. And Rotherham will be the biggest club he's managed. He's got no promotions at all on his CV whatsoever. All he's got is nonsense. He would have had the relegation on his CV had he stayed longer, but he'd already got sacked. He's got sacked from everywhere he's been, basically. So for me, I'm not quite with you, Tom. Where are you getting the glass half full from, is what I'm going to say to you.
I'm getting the glass half full because this is what I think. I don't think Burchnall is the manager, right? Make no bones about that. Hence why I commented, Steve Mcclaren's Red and White Army, right? Steve Mcclaren, he's got a puppet. Burchnall is his puppet. Steve Mcclaren will be telling them style of play, substitutions, formations, tactics.
So you think
Burchnall is just the figurehead.
Mcclaren's going to be on bench every weekend with him?
Sorry, Lee, say that again, mate.
Do you think Steve Mcclaren is going to be sat on the bench with him every weekend?
On the bench, potentially in the stadium.
Really? You think Mcclaren's going to be in the dugout?
No chance.
Not in the dugout. No, I'm not saying in the dugout.
No, that's why you're asking. Yeah,
I'm saying there. saying there in the stadium or in and
So
around.
yeah, he's in the stadium. He's not making influence on the pitch when he's in the stadium.
Yeah, but I think this is where it's going to be different for Rotherham fans. Rotherham's DNA, if you like, is get it to the wings, cross it into the box, hit the big man, score goals.
So that in Birch,
I'm going to say that isn't Virtual's.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
he plays out.
So I
from
think
the
we're
back,
moving. I think we're moving away from that now.
Yeah, but
There's
we've
going to be a style of
established.
play that we've never seen before.
Okay, Tom, name me the last team that got out of League Two playing out of the back. There isn't any. You can't play that way in League Two.
Yeovil,
Please,
Forest Green,
I can see what you're trying to say, Tom.
Forest Green, Bushy, who Burchnall took over after Rob Edwards left to go to Wolves.
Well, he took over in League One there.
To go to did he go Luton? Whatever.
They're in League One, I think, when he took over.
And the fact is, he got sacked from there because they were bottom of the league.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, Forest Green Rovers got out of League Two to League One. That
They
style of
weren't playing
play.
out from the back, playing that way.
They did. Rob Edwards made them play that way. And Burchnall took over from Rob Edwards.
Playing out of the back with players that are just not technically good enough is suicide at League Two.
But I will push back on this again. We've got 9 contracted players. So the caliber of player we're now looking for, and I agree. I hate the whole playing out the back system in lower leagues. I completely agree. However, if that's the direction they're going to go, and would I want anybody other than Steve Mcclaren to be, I'd like Pep Guardiola, obviously, Steve Mcclaren to direct that kind of thing. Yeah, great. Look, I think Rotherham fans, if you're watching this, and a lot of you are, I can see the viewing numbers, prepare for a change in style of play. That's all I'm going to say.
The thing is, though, Tom, I felt we tried to do that last season, and that's why we ended up going down.
But who was in charge? Who was in charge, mate?
So we're going to end that poll. Obviously, the first poll, would you buy a season ticket? 31% said they are going to buy a season ticket. However, 67% are saying they're not going to buy a season ticket. So that is quite damning. Next poll we're going to quickly do. Are you happy with Ian Burchnall as manager? So again, same poll.
Just on what Tom was saying there as well, because I get what you're trying to say, Tom. You know, you have this super guy who's the director of football, head of football in this scenario, and then the manager basically doesn't do his own thing. He basically follows what, in this case, Steve Mcclaren tells him to do. I just think that I don't think that has ever worked anywhere, and it will never work. You can't. I don't think Steve Mcclaren or anyone is good enough to almost get his hand, put it into Ian Burchnall as a puppet, and then get his message into the players. And what I mean by that is let's say you're right. Let's say they want to play football, right? And Steve Mcclaren plays it one way, and Ian Burchnall plays it the other one. So Steve Mcclaren says to Ian Burchnall, I don't know, right? What I want you to do is tell the players, get it out wide, and put it into the box, like you said, Rotherham are, right? And then Ian Burchnall asks the question, well, how do you want me to do it? And Steve Mcclaren says how to do it, and then Ian Burchnall thinks, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play what I want, wingers, but I'm going to try a different way. And it's a bit like Chinese whispers. I just don't think it can work that, and that makes me even more worried if you think that, even more worried.
Tom could be right because he's coming as their coach, isn't he? He's not coming in as a manager. Yeah. So Tom might be right along them lines.
I can, like Pete says, right? Listen, trust me. We've not had this in our whole Rotherham sporting life. A lot of other clubs do, right? We've not just got a director of football, we've got a head of football, right? Mcclaren will have his vision, right? His vision will be to Burchnall, right? Who was his assistant manager at Jamaica, right? He's been assistant manager at Aberdeen. Osterson's, he's very much a Graham Potter, obviously protege or whatever. he's going to get told, this is the style of play. Do not deviate from said style of play. We're going to sign players to play this style of play, whether you like it or not, mate. Right? So I'm not saying whether you like it or not, mate, Bez. I mean, whether you like it or not, Ian, if that makes sense. So listen, from a Rotherham point of view here, gentlemen, gone are the days of Ronnie Moore, Paul Warne, Neil Warnock, you name it, wingers in the box. The style of play, as of yesterday, or maybe a few weeks before that, has changed. We ain't that team anymore. This is going to be a possession-based team, whether you like it or not, and it's going to be about controlling the ball and putting putting pressure on.
Steve Mcclaren said in his interview, he was mentioning the Rotherham DNA, high press, getting balls into the box.
Yeah, he was, to be fair, yeah.
So why was he talking like that? And then he's going to implement a style that you're saying, because that's what he was saying in the interview. In the interview,
I'm telling you, he ain't going to go with that.
Rotherham is a hard place to come, and we want to get back to that. We want to get back to being a hard place to come, back in your face, crosses into the box. That's what he mentioned in the interview.
I don't think he said crosses in the box at any point. Correct me if I'm wrong. What I'm saying is he wants the fans back on side, which is what he's been briefed by the board and Tony Stewart, right? Trust me.
But he's not getting the fans on side. I'm not being funny, but if a man's telling me in League Two that we cannot compete financially, he's having a laugh. And if he's telling me not to expect promotion, he's having a laugh again. Because I'll expect promotion. We're Rotherham United in League Two. We should be the top of League Two. And if you're going to expect fans to drop the standards, it ain't happening. Under no circumstances will I allow my standards to drop as a Rotherham United supporter to accept mid-table in League fucking Two. No chance. Absolutely no chance.
Lee, how can he say anything other? And we've already spoke about this. How can he say anything other when you've got 9 contracted players and at the point of interview, no manager?
No, listen. He's an experienced manager. He's an experienced coach. He's been all over the world, yeah? He can easily say, nearly every team will be in a similar position to Rotherham with hardly any contracted players, because that's how League Two and League One operate. Every season is a rebuild. Every single club does it at this level because they can't afford long-term contracts like your Premiership and your Championship. Every club goes through a transition every season, and we've seen it at Rotherham for the past 3 or 4 seasons. We're filled up with loan players, and that happens across all the leagues and League One and League Two. Yeah. So actually, it's a blessing that he's not got these players contracted because he can get the players in that he wants. So what I'm saying, we are one of the biggest clubs in this division. Yeah. This is what would get fans on side. We're not going to accept mediocrity. We're going to go and push for the top end, and we're going to try everything in our powers to do that. Obviously, there'll be bumps in the road. There always is. You can't guarantee results every week. What I can guarantee you is you will enjoy the product on the pitch. Because if he ain't going to come and do that, he may as well not be here. Yeah? He's got to be doing that. And people held Steve Evans to account, but at least Steve Evans had the balls to put his balls on the line and say, I'm going to produce a championship team. And he believed it. Yeah? And that's how managers get promotions. If he's got this little pudding that's never had a promotion in his life, and he's been managing shit clubs like Notts County, Forest Green, and God knows else, and he's never had a promotion, no wonder we're not expecting promotion, because you're kind of telling us we haven't got the budget to do it. And he also said that we haven't got the finances to compete at League Two fucking level. Are you having a laugh?
Lee.
Expect him to go and buy a season ticket on that shit rhetoric. Absolutely no chance.
So Lee, think about this, right? We've got one rhetoric saying that Steve Mcclaren's been bought in to sell season tickets. And now you're saying that Ian Burchnall is the negative of buying season tickets. Where do we meet? Listen, 9 contracted players. For my money, Burchnall is just it is going to be the head coach. He's going to be the head coach. Mcclaren's going to advise. He can't go and make a rod for his back, as I said to you in our group chat yesterday. He can't go and say in his first interview, we're going to smash this league. No bother. He can't say that. There's no. Why would he say that? Because it'd get clipped and showed to every team that we play, especially the state that we're in, right? But what Steve Mcclaren does bring, right? What he does bring is a leveler, right? He's got contacts. He can spot talent, right? And I've got, honestly, right? I've got faith. I genuinely do believe we're going to have a very successful season next season. Ian Burchnall or Steve Blacknall, as you said, Lee. Do you know what I mean? I think we're going to have a great season. I genuinely believe we will get promoted. I think this is incredibly positive, what's happening. So I'm on the Burchnall bus, even though that video he played at the start is brilliant. And I think it's one of my favourite videos. And I can't believe we've now got him potentially, probably, as Bez is going to hate it as our new gaffer. But that's what I will say, definitely.
Say that again, Tom. Sorry, say that again, Tom.
I'm saying I'm glad that I'm saying, unfortunately for Bez, I think Burchnall will be the manager.
I don't understand why. Like, I know there's a lot of rumours. I do know that. I'm not stupid, but I don't think you've given me anyone has given me a reason why Burchnall will be the manager. The only kind of link between the two is that they were both at Jamaica, where
No,
they
not.
failed.
In the advertiser, he said that he's his preferred manager, so he's not going to not get him because he's shit.
No, but I don't. I still. You're saying this? That's what the advertiser says. The advertiser's not always true.
Right, okay. If he don't come, you come naked on the show.
No, I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. I'm just trying to say, I just don't understand why. I just can't understand why you think it's like a definite. Look, Tom said this before we had the advertiser interview. You said it before the advertiser interview. I just don't understand. It's like, to me, it's like because it's such a negative appointment. That's why you're like because you're all against Stewart, and I am as well. You almost want it to be disappointment, so it's a negative against Stewart. That's what I feel.
I don't want it. I want us to get a good manager because I'm actually positive about the Steve Mcclaren signing, but I am very cautious that I don't know if it's just a publicity stunt to sell a few season tickets, and then his mate will sail off into the sunset because we can't afford to keep paying him. But if it is this role, I think it's a positive. However, I would have then expected that to be backed up by a big name manager for the level, and then us to actually go out and say, right, we're going to make a statement here. We're going to get a David McGoldrick. We'll go and sign him. We'll go and sign, the best we can possibly get of League
Which
Two.
we might do, Lee. We might do that.
We don't know. Yeah, we might do, but we might not as well. That's
exactly.
the problem.
Yeah.
There's a good stuff on you as well, Tom. As I was saying, I know what you're thinking. I just don't think that's a thing where the director of football is in charge and the manager's a puppet. I don't think that is a thing in football.
Let me just go through comments and then we'll come back to it. We've got quite a lot of comments coming through. We need to catch up to date with it. The silly old fucker says buying a season ticket will buy a better striker. He's be selling Nombe, Hall, and getting 250k from Martha for just being at the World Cup. He's just after money. Get him gone. Scott Kent says 4k at push, leaning towards 3.5. The Miller's 1974 says it'll be near 3,000. So a lot of people are saying they're not going. I don't even know how much the season ticket costs.
Nobody does.
Yeah, true.
No one does, yeah.
Price will be a driving factor, yeah. So a lot of people will be price driven as well. What manager would you all agree on that'll be all right for Rotherham? I think the problem, Michael, with any manager is everybody's got a different opinion. And if I tell you the manager that I believe I would like now, and I said it to somebody, and I said it to somebody online, they was like, absolutely no fucking chance. But who'd have thought we'd have got Steve Mcclaren, realistically?
Who is it then, Lee? Who are you going to say?
So, for me, I'd go for Steve Cooper. There was a Nottingham Forest recently being sacked. He's managed the England under-21s. I'd have gone for Steve Cooper, personally. I think he fits the mould of working with Mcclaren as well. He's a good coach. Obviously, he's going to be expensive. But that would be a statement to League Two. Imagine that. You've got Steve Mcclaren, director of football, Steve Cooper as manager. You don't even need to offer these players money. They're coming anyway. They're
That's
coming.
fair enough, yeah.
You know by just the manager signing, you're winning the league.
I agree with that, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do.
And
I know.
that would make them season tickets go from 3,000, 4,000 to about 6,500, 7,000 in League Two.
Yeah.
And we'd have a winning team and we'd walk the floor with League Two. So that's what I want. That's what I'd expect. So there you go. People said, don't be silly. Who would your number one target be, Bushy? I've just told you. That's who my target would be Steve Cooper. Taken in isolation, the appointment of Mcclaren is a good one, but my big fear is that it will have no funds left for the manager or players, hence the underwhelming choice of Burchnall. And that is my worry, and I think that's Pete's worry, and I think that's possibly Bez's worry as well. Tom seems to be turning into an happy clapper. We'll change his name to Adam. If McClaren is a new ground, Tony Stewart's going to listen. Taylor and Richard got sacked for saying it, which is fairly true. Not sure about Ian Blacknall as a leader. Think his role is in the excess.
X's and O's.
Yeah. Good at game planning, etc., but don't know, lads. Got to give this new direction a chance at least. Turbo is 100% correct. Forest Green did play out from the back. Could appoint Pep and still be annoyed if Tony Stewart is still there. Warney and Warnock wanted the same things, bit late now. Burchnall is well known to Mcclaren, having served as assistants to the 63-year-old during his recent spell in charge of the Jamaican national team. The Jamaican national team that didn't qualify for the World Cup, I might add. Mcclaren failed to get Jamaica to the World Cup. Yeah, that's correct. And I think they've got a much better team than like your Carousels and whatever they're called. So that was a failure. Good evening, up the Millers. The real question is, how many strikers can we get on Brolly Boy's wages? Very true. Hooray for Tom. At least he's been a bit positive. The rest of you are being negative. Okay, Tony Stewart's interview wasn't great, but at least he had the balls to be interviewed. Well, I mean, Paul, you said that.
Can I have an interview? I've got the balls to interview me.
He fucking, the only balls he's got is because he wants your money. So he's got his ball sack on your face while he's taking your money. He's teabagging you, mate. He's absolutely dangled over you with his saggy fat horse, dangling his balls on your face because he wants your season ticket money. He hasn't had a fucking interview for 3 years, for fuck's sake. Fucking balls to come out and have an interview. Come on. I'll shoot my balls all over his face. If the manager says we're not going up before balls kicked, then how are we going to sell season tickets? What kind of message does that send out to the fans? Shocking. And I totally agree with Busher. Cheers, Gary. Yeah, totally agree. It's a terrible message. You don't even... I'd sooner him say nothing than say, well, don't expect a promotion This is kind of we're redoing it again. We were meant to be redoing it again last season. Now, how did that go? How often do the chairman of all of them come on Radio Sheffield to be interviewed? None of them. They do actually, Paul. I've heard lots of interviews other than Chancery and Tony Stewart. And possibly the Barnsley guys don't come out because they're under fire and all. Usually they come out when they're doing well, chairmans. Brilliant, Tom. I agree with the rest of you tonight. Miserable buggers. Wasn't Paul Simpson favourite? Yeah, probably couldn't afford him. Bushit always wanting you lads naked in bra and knickers. Yeah, always do, mate. I'm kinky like that.
To be fair, you do, yeah.
Yeah, kinky guy, mate. Kinky guy. Bra and knickers, what's wrong with that? End of the day, lads, Tony X Stewart doesn't give a shout who we'd like. If Steve Evans was the guy, he'll be the guy no matter what we think. Yeah, he's told us that. Why is it took a meeting after meetings for a new manager? Why is it taking meetings after meetings for a new manager? Steve Cooper is at Brøndby FC. Yeah, who the fuck are they? We'd take him. The shit, that's what I mean. So we can get him. Steve Cooper is a great shout, to be fair. Steve Cooper as a club. Yeah, fucking Steve Evans had a club and we took him from Crawley the first time. Don't mean because they've got a club you can't take them as manager. Show some ambition. Get your big hairy balls out, slap them on the table and say, we want you. We're Rotherham United. We're in League Two. We're going to smash it, bruv. You know what I mean? Flipping egg. He's got a team. Who cares? Fucking Brøndby FC. Who the fuck are they? Isn't Cooper manager of Brombrett much bigger than Rotherham? No disrespect, Bushy, but I believe you think we are bigger than we actually are. We're bigger than fucking Bromby. Who the fuck are Bromby? Never heard of him.
I think they're Champions League, to be honest.
Yeah, they're quite a big team, Lee.
Yeah, Champions League.
I think they've won about 50 league titles in their country.
In where, though?
Norway, is it? Is it Sweden?
Sweden.
Might be.
Denmark.
Denmark. Yeah, exactly. It's like fucking Sunday League. Head of director of football with a puppet coach is a different approach for us. I generally don't know how to feel about it. Time will tell. Things have to change, though. Return of the King Booners. Now go and buy season tickets. Yeah, go and buy your season tickets, lads. So true, says Wayne Earl. I don't know which part.
Cheers, Wayne. Thanks, Wayne. Thanks, pal.
Are we talking about? Is he talking to you?
No. I'm just taking the credit for whatever Wayne just said.
It definitely weren't against you because you're coming out with some right nonsense tonight. I thought I got Adam in top right hand corner. Do you guys not think Steve Mcclaren is a good appointment? Yes,
great
I do.
Appointment.
I think he's a great appointment. So don't get this bitter and twisted. There's so many twisted animals on the internet these days, right? I don't think it's a bad appointment. What I do think is Steve Bracknell, Steve Bucknell, I'd sooner
Ian Burchnall.
I'd sooner Steve fucking what's that guy that does daft football? Steve Bracknell, in it.
Steve Bracknell, yeah. Sheffield Wednesday fan.
I'm not being serious. As soon as Steve Bracknell than this clown. Honest to God. Yeah, get him in. But yeah, I do think Steve McClaren's a good appointment, and I think it's a great appointment for Rotherham United. But I do fear that this is going to be a struggle to work unless Tony Stewart opens the purse strings and lets him do all the football stuff. And if he's confident to do that, then it could turn out to be good. My problem is the guy knows the budget. Is it an old friends act? He gets, a nice little wage, doesn't have to turn up to Rotherham very often. And then he's just getting the scribs and scrabs of League Two because we've got no money left to actually get a decent manager because we're paying it to Mcclaren. Is that the problem? That's my fear. But I think the Mcclaren in itself, director of football, I think that should have happened many, many years ago. And I think that is a positive. So tonight, I am going to say there is positive, because of that. But the negatives, for me, outweigh the positives. Because if this Ian Burchnall, fucking botch job comes in,
What nickname are you going to give him, Lee?
Fucking
Lee,
hell.
you've had Big Boy. What are you going to give Birch
Yeah,
Boy?
he's already going to get a name, and it'll come
Water
quick.
boy.
Ballsack. Mr. Ballsack.
Ian, fuck off!
They're in the Champions League, Boucher. I agree with you. They're in the Champions League because they're in bloody Denmark. I could probably get a Sunday League team in Denmark to get in Champions League. They're not going to win it, are they? Depends on the investment from Tony. Looking at the past few seasons, not looking good. And that's what I took from the interview as well. When we can't compete financially, that was a worry. We might all be underwhelmed by the manager, but for me, the player recruitment is massive. We have a bunch of wasters that got 2 managers to sack. And that's a good comment from John Fellows, to be fair. Loads of comments. If I have missed your comment, I am really sorry, but the comments are coming in fast and thick tonight. We've got lots of people watching. We all may be underwhelmed at the manager. So going on to Tony Stewart, obviously his interview was very worrying. We've got the poll in as well, so let me just quickly run this poll. So, are you happy with Ian Burchnall? So, 100% have voted for him that they're not happy with that manager choice. So, that's not a good start, is it? So, I'm going to go around the room. So, if it is him, are you happy with the appointment? So, Tom, I'm going to go to you because you've been the most positive. So, you must be happy with the appointment because you think he's going to play out from the back. You think he's going to suddenly become a good manager, because also we've been told before that Matt Hamshaw was a good coach, but you're saying just because. So what you're saying now is if Matt Hamshaw had Steve Mcclaren behind him, he would have been successful.
No, God, no. No, I do not believe that at all. The only reason Matt Hamshaw got the job here is because he claimed to be a Rotherham United fan, and that's a claim. And he was part of the backroom staff once upon a time. Is Ian Burchnall the person I would pick as our head coach? Absolutely not. However, who I do have faith in is Steve Mcclaren, who has obviously identified Burchnall as the man to be his puppet, effectively. So I'm happy with the appointment, potential appointment, probably slightly underwhelmed, but I do have faith in Steve Mcclaren, owing to what he has done in football in the past. So I'm not happy, but I can't disagree with our new head of football.
Bez?
No, not happy at all, to be honest.
Well, you definitely weren't happy because we had a call midweek, and I'm gonna share with the viewers that you said to me that you may quit the podcast if he gets the manager's job because you couldn't cope anymore.
I did say that, to be fair. I did say that. It's more to do with the fact that I can see us losing every week again with this manager. I've already said I disagree with Tom where Mcclaren would be like the person who runs things on the pitch. And this guy doesn't really do anything. I just can't see it happening. This guy will take training. Steve Mcclaren won't do it. Mcclaren won't be in the dugout. So during a game, if Rotherham are losing or withdrawing, they need to get a win. It's all up to this guy to say the right things at half time. Mcclaren won't be in the dressing room. It'll just be this guy. So I don't think it matters if Steve Mcclaren's there. If you've got a guy coming in who is with Forest Green, I think he won 5 games in his tenure, or maybe 6 or 7. I can't remember. He took a team down. You've got a team like Notts County who have been in the first division i.e. Premier League, and they were in the conference and he couldn't get them promoted. He only just made the playoffs, I was reading, and he failed in them as well. So, yeah, it's a very depressing appointment, and I'll still get a ticket, as I've already said, because I've already got one. But, yeah, this is just as bad as Amshaw for me. As in, I felt bad when Amshaw got it. I'll feel the exact same if this guy gets it.
Dave, can I just say, right? So you got to remember, this is me. I'm not a cheerleader for Ian Burchnall here, I might add, right? Ian Burchnall took over a job from Rob Edwards when he got them promoted to League One, yeah? How many, I've not researched this and I probably should have. How many players buggered off from Forest Green when they got promoted, I think, by a mile in League Two? What was he left with, first and foremost?
Can I answer that then? Let me answer that quickly. Right,
why did
fine. But we're in the same position as that, though, Tom, because all our players have left. So you're saying he was at a club where he had to rebuild it. Well, he's going to rebuild this one.
Yeah, so he's not doing the rebuild. Dave, he's not doing the rebuild, is he?
He's going to have a say in it. He's going to have a say.
No, he'll have zero say in it. Steve Mcclaren is doing the rebuild.
No, and man, they have to work together, and like the only reason it works if it goes with Ian Runsk, whatever his name is. What's his name? Ian.
Imagine if he becomes our greatest manager of all time.
Ian Burchnall.
I have to come back to this.
The only way it works for Ian Burchnall is if like they literally think the exact same as Steve McClaren and himself.
Well, that's why McLaren's putting Burchnall in.
Yeah, but they can't think the same because Steve McClaren managed England and this kid can't even get Forest Green right. So they're complete opposite ends of scale.
I need the voice of reason to come in here. The voice of reason, Pete.
Pete, Pete, what do you reckon?
I'm disappointed, to be fair. Obviously, when McClaren coming, I thought, yeah, we're going to get a name here. Decent manager, kick on, then go and smash League One as well. Foundations are there, aren't they, with McClaren? For me,
yeah,
we should have gone and got a decent manager, somebody with a proven record at promotions. But no, we've gone for this guy. If he does get it, like Bez says, we don't know if he's got it, but he probably has. Let's give him a chance there. See how we go on. I'm not going to, after 2 games, get him out. Let's just give him a few. Give him, I don't know, 12 games. See how he gets on. But like I say, if he does get sacked, I think McClaren will step in. I think McClaren will take over. That's my personal view, anyway.
Yeah, but you said he ain't going to stay beyond Christmas, McClaren. So
yeah, but 12 games in Christmas, is it?
And can I add, that is the risk. That is the risk. And I said it on our voice note in our group the other day. When McClaren comes up with these players and Tony doesn't sign the checks, that's where it could all fall to absolute pieces. Let's say in a mad world.
Yeah, but they've already agreed the budget, Tom.
Well, this is true. So
you can't get this manager a 4-year deal either. Just give him a 1-year deal for now. Don't we keep paying managers off, do we?
No. Tony was moaning at the builders the other day at Roundwood at the prices for office and storage. So Steve said to him, "Hope you know what you've let yourself in for." He turned round and goes, "I bloody do now."
Shut up.
And he says he won't be here by Christmas. Tony did say in his interview on the club's page, we'd be going to do the loan route mostly, so Steve McClaren will need to use his contacts quickly. Mr. Gore, are you available?
I wish.
It's only to get season tickets on bums on seats. So, yeah, he's saying it's in. Rosaw UFC Bailey. Evening, lads. Got a gut feeling that McClaren won't last like others in the past. Think he's been led false promises and do a Kenny jacket and get his jacket. Roll it and depart in next month or so. I could be wrong, but just seen crazy feeling. Tony Stewart's interview didn't do it for me. He looked desperate as well as looking poorly and sounded poorly. Up the Millers, time will tell. And that's a great post from friend of the show, Russ. And I agree with that. as well. It's a great post. Ray Chuff says, love the Roma tracksuit, Pete, like the 1979-1970s Wolf badge. Should Rotherham adopt a similar style badge and have a silhouette head of an animal? So if it was an animal, what would it be? Miller Bear.
That is a cool tracksuit, Pete. I'm not gonna lie.
Cheers, pal. It's my
Roma,
Italian
is
team.
it?
This, it's my Italian team, Roma. Yeah,
Roma.
Yeah.
I like it.
Can't believe fans want Burchnall out and he hasn't got the job.
That's KP Terrace talk. Burchnall out.
Yeah, I want him out already. I do actually want him out. I don't want him in. I never asked for him in. Now I want him out.
Imagine if Ian Burchnall sat at home now going, right, what the hell's this I'm watching? Somebody's talking about me. I'm not even bloody applied for the job.
Yeah. Well, Burchnall, whatever you are, I'm going to play something for you again.
Come on, lads, pick it up. Come on.
Ian, fuck off! Ian, fuck off! Don't bother coming back out! Fucking clueless!
It's all right.
You're fucking clueless!
Pick it up, Ian. Come on.
Fucking useless, mate!
Come on,
Fucking
Ian.
resign!
You're a fucking shit.
Come on, Ian. Pick it up, lad. Pick it up.
that's Bushy and Tom. That's Bushy shouting and Tom being like,
That's me.
yeah.
Come on, Ian. Pick it up. Come on, pick it up. Pick it up. Fucking
You don't think
pick
that
it
sounds
up.
like Dom Jolly off Trigger Happy TV? Hello! What? Stop
Something
it!
like that, Robin. We'll be picking one thing up and it'll be a jaw.
Okay, now.
Going on past results, but they both failed to Jamaica to the World Cup, and the group didn't include USA, Canada,
Because
and
they were stoned.
Mcclaren has had all say, but the chairman, okay, if he sees fit, he should be laying a marker down in this league, and said we won't be in the league very long. Yeah, totally agree with you. That's what I agree with. 100% God honest words. I bloody do now. Burchnall to be unbeaten in League Two, Rotherham invincibles. So some fans thinking he's going to be a good appointment. So, I mean, I don't know.
We can't say out, can we?
I'm happy with Steve Mcclaren. I'm hoping that he is going to be good for us, and I'm hoping that he brings a better manager in. But I think if it works, it'll be good for Rotherham United. There's no doubt that Steve Mcclaren is a big positive. So I kind of want to end on positive rather than being negative, because it feels like we was negative all last season, and I don't want to start the new season negative.
How can you be positive though about a guy who has had 2 managerial jobs, I think, and failed at both? Like, how can
I can't be positive about the manager, Bez, but what I can be positive about is Steve Mcclaren knows more about football than us 4. Yeah. So he sees something in this manager that he can work with. So sometimes if he's a yes man, Steve Mcclaren, that's probably maybe what Steve Mcclaren wants. So Steve Mcclaren can get his ideas across more. I don't know, but it's Steve McLaren's choice. And realistically, what other choice have we got? We can sit here and moan about it. It's not going to change anything. All it's going to do is turn the fans against each other again, which we had all last season, rather than us try and sort of be positive. And I think Steve Mcclaren, you can't not. On the other hand of Bertrand, you can't be positive with him. But Steve Mcclaren, I don't know one fan that you can't be positive about him coming in, other than the fact that you think it might not work with Tony Stewart.
Can't we like we talked about this last season, and it keeps like rearing its head. And the fact that on social media over these last 2 days, ever since Stewart did his interview, you've had a lot of fans from other football clubs, saying, oh my God, who is this guy? I feel sorry for Rotherham fans because it looks like he's going to take them under. Not Rotherham fans saying that. That's other fans. A lot of Wednesday fans have said something. Why can't, for once, why can't we as fan base do something? Do a protest. Don't go to a game. Why can't we do that? If it is this way,
like I've said to you, the Rotherham fan base is it's not like most football clubs. So the majority of Sheffield Wednesday fans saw what was going on at Sheffield Wednesday with Chansiri, and they stuck together to eventually get him out. Yeah. Rotherham fans don't. Like I've said, when have you ever heard anybody at the stadium chanting for Tony Stewart out? Yeah. All you're going to do, I'll tell you now, if I said, right, I'm going to start a protest, I would just get streams and streams of abuse off people saying he saved the football club, he did that. I mean, we can't deny that he saved the football club and he did fantastic, but there is always a shelf life on a product, yeah? And unfortunately, his health isn't great. You can see it in him. Why he wants to put himself through this, I don't know. But I don't think there'll be proper change until Tony Stewart has sold the club. Whether we get investment is another matter. But with Tony Stewart, I just don't see us progressing. It needs a clear out. So they're talking about players, but why has the reporter not said to the people, right, okay, so these people that advised you that it was all down to injuries, it was all a big problem and you were going to finish top half of the table. Why are these advisors still in a job at your football club, Tony Stewart? Why have they not put it back to Tony Stewart? Same as when he says we've done a good job. Why has the reporter said, actually, you've not done a great job. You've had more relegations now than you've had promotions. And you're in the same position when you first took over the football club. You're in the same league. So in any business, that's not progression. That's going backwards. We've actually gone backwards because when he first came, we had a new stadium, we had a better manager, and the stadium was brand new. And we had a buzz feeling of coming back to a stadium when years of decline. But now we haven't got that. There's no bounce anymore. Yeah. So we're actually in a worse place than when Tony Stewart took over us. So why didn't the reporters say that to him? And that's why I challenge all these reporters, because none of them asked the questions that Rotherham fans want to hear. And when he was saying we've done quite well, we went on an unbeaten run of 7. Well, why did you say you went on a winless run of 8? We won 7-2 at Salford. Yeah, but you lost 6-0 at Peterborough. Why are they not putting it back on Tony Stewart's toes? Because he wouldn't have the answers. And the problem is the media are complicit in allowing this charade to continue for the football club. That is my view. I just think nobody are asking him the serious questions for me. And that is worrying. But like I say, it's a new season. We can only hope. I mean, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go, Bez? What do you think we should have protests?
I think you're right in what you're saying. I think because the club is split, and it has been, I've said before, it has been split. The fan base has been split for at least 20 years. And I don't know what we need, but we do need something where all the fans do agree and we can come together. Now, in Wednesday's case, it was the fact that Chansiri was so poor that has meant that they've all come together.
But Tony Stewart's been so poor.
I know, but as you said there, Tony Stewart is still going to be seen as a saviour of Rotherham United. And that's the issue. I mean, what annoys me is people don't remember that Ken Booth did the exact same thing. He saved Rotherham United and he ended up being like and I think that's the problem. I think we've seen this story before with Rotherham United, and unfortunately, he comes across as they're stuck with me.
But at the same token, he said he's had Chinese people, he's had American people. But then further on in the interview, he said if somebody comes with a good offer, he'll sell it tomorrow as long as they've got the money. But
He don't. Yeah, that's what I mean. He don't. He don't make sense. No.
Like he contradicts everything he's saying, and that's the worry. So for me, they were saying 15 players out of contract, whatever. But I'd be saying, why is that backroom team still there? You've brought Steve Mcclaren in. Are people going to be losing the jobs in the backroom? Why has Paul Douglas still got a job? Why has Hitchens still got a job? The commercial side of the football club been losing money. What's happening with Phil Smith? Why wasn't that asked? You'd brought in an analyst. Is the results there, or have we got any results to? Because he was meant to be doing an analytics on the football club, on everything, and making changes, and he was going to give some honest feedback. Where is this feedback? Is it being delivered to you, Tony? What was his role? As because all he was saying is, oh, Steve Mcclaren were telling him this and this, and it was like, oh, I didn't know that. I wish I'd have known that sooner. Why weren't Phil Smith telling him this stuff as well then about the football club? I don't know. I just think they could have delved deeper, but you're never going to get what you want from this. I personally think the only way forward was a full sale and Tony Stewart removed from the football club to make us go forward. I hope that he's learned from his lessons. I hope that he listens to Steve Mcclaren because he has got the footballing know-how. And I hope that we are challenging. And I hope that Tony Stewart decides to put his hands in his pockets. But I do fear he'll see the season ticket sales. They'll be very, very low. And he'll think, sod this, I'm not going to bother. That's my view.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that Tom's almost giving him excuses already.
So Tom,
if we're struggling, Tom's already got excuses because he had to sign 15 players or 20 players, whatever it is.
No. What I'm saying is nothing could be worse than last year, in my opinion. And listen, we've now got a head of football in who is picking somebody. Listen, it might be an absolute disaster. I'm not going to say we're going to romp home in the league. I will defend Steve Mcclaren. I can't defend Tony Stewart. That was an awful interview, right? Listen, I think we need to see what happens in the next 2 months. See what happens in pre-season, players that we sign, and then we can have a more balanced conversation. Because right now, everything is quite literally up in the air.
I do agree with you, Tom.
I think the big
regardless of who we sign, you talk about budgets and stuff. Not you, all right. We talk about budgets and stuff, and it is actually a fact that in this league, the team who sell the most season tickets and pay the most will have the biggest budget, right? And Rotherham last year, and by the way, you have got the same in League One as well. There are League One and League Two. You can only spend what you sell. The Championship's okay, you can spend what you want. In League One and League Two, you have to stick within the rules, the financial fair play rules. And the fact to say that we were second or third highest in tickets last year, right, and we still sold 6,500, that has got to be, if you added up everyone's in ticket up and times it by every fan and what they're paying, I reckon we were at least third or fourth or third last year. And being third or fourth in League One, we'll be top, or we should be top, by at least a mile. So I know you're right. We should see who we bring in, but we should bring in best players. A player comes available who's a League Two class player, he should come to us. He shouldn't go to Chesterfield. He shouldn't go to Bromley, who are in League above. He should come to Rotherham. So I just feel that if we don't sign big players, or at least players from big clubs, let's say, he's a bit of a legend at Man U, Steve Mcclaren. Maybe we get some Man U youngsters. If we don't sign big, well-known players, I'll be disappointed. And there's no point McClaren being here. McClaren doesn't know anything about the conference. I'm telling you now. He's got a lot of knowledge. I agree. He's got a lot more knowledge than all of us put together. But he does not know anything about the conference North and South, anything below that. He doesn't.
But Dave, he will know people that do.
What? Yeah, but what? So you're saying that he'll ring someone and say, "Oh, have you heard that Tom? That Tom who's in National League, he's relying on him, basically saying he's good or not or bad." See, I think that's even worse. What's the point of having seen Mcclaren then if you're doing that?
Best thing about having Mcclaren, like if we go for a player and we Oldham's after him, Swindon, Barrow, whoever, we're going to get him because McLaren's going to turn up and go, "Oh, Steve McLaren's here. I'm signing for Rotherham." So we should have the best squad in that league by a long way for me.
Agree.
Yeah,
I don't think we'll sign anyone from National League or below. I don't think we'll sign one player from a National League club or below.
Good.
Jake Sheard, hey up lads. I think McClaren's a positive appointment towards a good future. Yeah, we do. We do agree with that, Jake. Predictions for next season, where we will finish. I think it's a bit early for me, Jake. I think we need to see what sort of players we start signing before we can sort of give our predictions. But we will do that sort of beginning of the season, the predictions. I think if we were to match them now, we'd be just saying it for the sake of saying it, really. Because we've got how many players contracted now?
9.
9.
9 players contracted, no manager. So I don't think you can predict where we're going to finish. My expectations is, I don't care who we sign and who the manager is, my expectations is that we go up automatically next season. That is my aim. I won't accept any less standards than that. So that's where I expect us to finish, but I'm not going to predict us to finish there until I see the players we sort of sign. You can tell Tony Stewart isn't a football man. He thinks a 7-2 win over Salford was a big deal.
You know what? Just on that, that's a great point, because when he mentioned that, Tony Stewart, my first thought was, does he realise it was in the cup that didn't matter? And I guarantee that Salford will have dropped off their team as well. So we were probably playing Salford's reserve side. So that honestly was a terrible comment by him, really.
Yeah, true. Scott Kent says, because they are far more happy clappers at this club, people want them wanting him out, Bez. Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Say that again, sorry, I missed that. Because there's far more clappers.
Kent says, because they are far more happy clappers at this club. That's in relation to...
I think that the thing with that is, I think all I can think of is that fans are... there was a real worry that Rotherham were going out of business. And I think a lot of the older generation probably think, you know what, I can still go and watch my team. Yes, they might lose a lot, but I can still watch them. I think that's it. Say that again, sorry.
Some of them are getting freebies off him as well, so don't miss that bit out. Tony lost the plot and living on crowd cuckoo land. Remember... Sombrinos for Steve Evans.
Yeah, sombreros, the hat, yeah.
Sombreros. If McLean does well, we should do Rasta caps for him. Robert thinks the weed anyway.
Yeah.
But Ray chuffed, and I think he's right with that. It does smell of weed, does Rotherham Town Centre. So, obviously, we're going to sort of wrap it up in a minute. So, I think Port Vale have shifted 5,000 season tickets already. I expect them to be challenging next season along with Bristol Rovers. Yeah.
Well, Port Vale got a great manager, and that's why.
Who was Port Vale the manager?
You got John Brady in, didn't there? He's one I wanted. He's one on the list that I wanted, John Brady.
Yeah.
Have you seen who Northampton? By the way, Northampton have played someone I don't think I've ever heard of. Have you seen that, anyone? Northampton's the
way. It's probably similar to what we get, a nobody. I missed the.
Well, no, it's someone who's just retired, isn't it? Let's have a look. I'll just check now on Twitter. I think it's someone I've never heard of, actually. Oh, it's Chris Hogg, isn't it? Wasn't Chris Hogg the assistant? Oh, Chris Doig, apparently. Yeah. So where's it Chris Doig? He was at Fleetwood as well, weren't he? I'm pretty sure
Did
he
he play
was.
for Forest, Tim? Did he play for Forest?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're coming to the end of the show. It's been a real sort of positive show, negative show, bit of both. Bit of represent. Can't even get the word out. But yeah, I think everybody's just worried. I think the main thing is we're not quite sure how this is going to work with Steve Mcclaren. We know, I think, had we just heard from Steve Mcclaren, it may not have been as bad. I think the fact that we've heard from the chairman has really brought alarm bells to some people, including the piggies. For some reason, they seem to be obsessed with Rotherham United, but they can suck on my hairy nutsack, them bunch of bellends. Yeah. So Sheffield Wednesday fans, if you're watching, I know you usually are bitches, but listen, Rotherham United will always be a better club than Sheffield Wednesday, so don't worry about it. Don't worry your little cotton socks about it. So, Tom, you're positive. You're looking forward to the new season. Pete, voice of reason, he's mixed bag. He thinks that Mcclaren isn't going to stay. Bez is just ready to commit Harry Carey. He's not happy at all with Steve Bracknell. We're never even going to remember.
Ian Burchnall.
He's that bad we don't remember his name. He's not happy with him. And I'm the same as Bez. I'm not happy with this managerial appointment. But I am happy with Steve Mcclaren, and I am willing to give this a chance. My big thing is when I see the calibre of player we sign, if I can see a profile of player that I think looks good, and then we go into pre-season and then sort of see how the team shape's playing, then I'll have a better sort of fairer assessment. At the minute, I think I'm a little bit turbocharged on Tony Stewart's coming out like the Mr. KFC guy with his red face and his eyes all over the place, and he's going to do the shaking Stevens on the dance floor. Like, it looked like, I'm not being funny, but it looked like we could have been carrying him out in a coffin by the end of the interview. It looked that ill. So that was worrying. All jokes aside, it did look worrying, Mr. Colonel. But
I thought the comment he did make about I'm not going anywhere. I thought that weren't a great comment. You know, as though, oh, fuck you, Rotherham fans, I'm staying here whether you like it or not. That's how I saw that. That's not my attitude.
Pete, the voice of reason, then said he was going to put a brick through his window. So he said, he's going to. He was saying something about I don't want people to put bricks through my window. I think he was thinking about me. I think I was going to do it. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me, TS. But yeah, no, it is worrying. We will have a break in an emergency podcast when the new manager is announced. I'm
not coming on if it's Burchnall. I'll let Tom can just give a positive podcast. We'll just let Tom go on his own.
In the game of the season, yeah, I know. I need to edit that. You've made me laugh tonight, lads. Not heard Burchell's name pronounced correctly all night. Just shows no one knows who he is. Yeah, that's true. We don't know who he is, but we have a little video to end on. Just quickly, we don't know who he is, but this guy.
Come on, lads, pick it up. Come on.
Ian, fuck off! Ian, fuck off! Don't bother coming back out! Fucking clueless!
It's all right.
You're fucking clueless!
Pick it up, Ian. Come on.
Fucking useless, mate!
Come on,
fucking
Ian.
Resign!
Shower of fucking shit.
Shower of fucking shit. That is going to be played a lot next season.
You need to do an AI video. You and Tom doing that AI. That'd be brilliant. That.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Come on, Ian, pick it up. Ian, you're fucking clueless.
He's fucking.
Can I understand something before you go, Lee? So, and I'm going to get you back here for you doing it to me a little bit. So, I'm going to reveal some of that Lee told me off air. And I want to know if this is still true, Lee, right? So, I was saying, weren't I, about I'm still going to get a season ticket. And yeah, I'll probably go, but I might not go to as many games. That's what I was saying. And Lee said to me that if it's Ian Burchnall, he won't even pay the 10 quid to iFollow to watch the game.
Oh,
From that link.
I've got a dodgy stick anyway.
Yeah, no, I can't watch Burchnall ball because you're fucking clueless, mate. You're clueless. You're a clown. It's worse than Big Boy, isn't it? I can't do another season of a Big Boy, man.
The thing is, that's what I'm worried about. Like, I know, Tom, I know you're trying to be positive, I get that, but I feel this could be as bad as that, I'm sure, honestly. I really do think that.
Well, let's see. Let's see.
Tom is blinded by the shine off of Steve Mcclaren's forehead. He's blinded by him. He's like, Steve McLaren's the saviour. He's managed England, so he's got to be good. He's been at Man United. He's got to be good. Yeah, I think none of us know, do we? Come on, let's be honest.
We don't.
He's not been appointed as manager yet, so he may not even get the job. I think he will, but I think it's virtually done, signed, sealed, and delivered. Probably announced tomorrow. But we can only judge him on what we see. So, yeah, I just think we've just got to wait and see what sort of happens. So I want to thank everybody for watching. We've had large numbers watching again tonight. Thank you for everybody in the comments. Thank you to Pete for being the voice of reason with these two arguing like teenage girls. Thanks to Turbo Tom, the most positive show he's ever been. He's not actually mentioned it's an awful place once, which has shocked me. And thanks to Bez, as usual, for factually sorting out Tom's happiness. But Tom came back with some good stuff with Yeovil. So Yeovil did play out from the back, but I'm not convinced League Two teams can do that regular. That was a Edwards thing, not a Bracknell. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe, and see you next time.
Fuck off, Ian!
Up the Millers.